Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, September 27th. Over the next few days, we will have a change in the weather pattern as an area of low pressure approaches the northwest coast. Winds will start increasing today along the Sierra front and expand on Wednesday and push north into Idaho. These winds will be gusting generally in the 30s. We could see some gusts around 40 miles per hour on Wednesday, and also relative humidity around 15%. The fuels in these areas still have not bounced back from the moisture we saw recently and are still not critical, but the winds certainly could kick up some fire activity if we see low elevation fires, especially in the grasses or in the pinyon juniper. Also, moisture will be increasing starting today over southern areas of the Great Basin and expanding north on Wednesday and Thursday, mainly over the eastern half of the region. Really, no precipitation occurred yesterday and no lightning across the area. We did have some weak cells develop over western Nevada. These did produce some light rainfall in areas and some cloud-to-cloud lightning, but nothing that reached the ground, at least not on this network. Great Basin fire activity yesterday was light, with just smaller fires reported across the eastern side of the Great Basin. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've seen precipitation across many areas of the Great Basin. Over this last week, however, we've seen drier conditions over much of Nevada into western Idaho. ERCs did drop significantly with the moisture last week, but have been rebounding and are now near to just above normal over parts of Idaho, and even over southern areas of the Great Basin. ERCs are above normal, but again, still is relatively low considering the time of year. Areas over western Nevada have begun increasing, but have not yet even reached normal. The satellite loop from this morning shows the ridge of high pressure dominating the Great Basin still today, with those well above normal temperatures and mostly dry conditions, except for the moisture increasing in the south and possibly along the Sierra front. But you can see the area of low pressure off the northwest coast, so as this approaches is what will be causing our increase in winds and also help pull that moisture further north. You can also see in the bottom right of the image Hurricane Ian that is now crossing Cuba and heading for the west side of Florida, producing quite a bit of rainfall already in Florida. For this afternoon, again, we will see drier conditions over the northern half of the Great Basin, with those winds starting to increase in the far west side and the moisture increasing in the south. Still low fire potential region-wide. Relative humidity will be dropping into the teens in most areas, with a couple single digits over southern areas of Nevada. Again, winds today will be gusting generally in the 20s to low 30s along the Sierra front, with the rest of the area seeing lighter winds. Showers and thunderstorms again will be increasing, with more isolated activity still over parts of Utah into southern Nevada, and we could see some isolated storms as well along the Sierra front. As we move into Wednesday, that trough moves into the Pacific Northwest, increasing those winds further across western and northern areas of the Great Basin, but also pulling that moisture north into parts of Idaho. So still low fire potential region-wide, but again, we could see a slight uptick in fire activity if we get new starts in areas where it will be windy on Wednesday. Also in this area of wind, you can see here on the right, generally showing winds in the 30s to around 40 miles per hour or low 40s, especially along the Sierra front. But also these gusty winds up into Idaho with gusts in the upper 20s to low 30s. Relative humidity, again, will be in the teens, might come up a little bit from what we've been seeing as that moisture works its way north. The better chances of showers and thunderstorms Wednesday will occur over eastern and southern Nevada into much of Utah, but also into parts of eastern Idaho or Wyoming. We could see some isolated activity, maybe some clouds or isolated showers in parts of central Idaho as that area of low pressure pushes east. As we move into Thursday, the low moves into northern Idaho, so we will see cooling of temperatures over the next couple of days, along with a better chance of shower activity in Idaho and Wyoming, and continuing in Utah with continued low fire potential. Relative humidity really increases on Thursday in the north, with many areas remaining above 30%. Still drier conditions remain in Nevada, and the winds overall will decrease. We will see the gusty winds increase over the eastern areas of the Great Basin, but not quite as gusty as what we'll see on Wednesday, with most of those gusts in the 20s to low 30s. But again, much higher humidity and showers and thunderstorms in many of those areas. So on Thursday, again, showers and thunderstorms continue across Utah and eastern Nevada, but increase over central Idaho into Wyoming. So again, this will allow fire danger to decrease with that moisture. Forecast amounts of precipitation are shown here, with the better chances of wetting rains being across Utah, possibly into Wyoming, with a couple of days of showers and thunderstorms, but also we'll see some wetting rains up in central Idaho. And then obviously the significant amount of precipitation across Florida associated with Hurricane Ian. On Friday, this area of low pressure moves into the northern Rockies with still moisture over the eastern side of the Great Basin for continued showers and thunderstorms and low fire potential. On Saturday, the ridge starts to build along the west, so we will see warmer and drier conditions for western areas, but still moisture lingering over eastern areas. And then by Sunday and Monday, that moisture starts to exit and that ridge starts to rebuild over much of the west with warmer and drier conditions. Forecast amounts of precipitation, we will see that additional precipitation over eastern areas of the Great Basin going into the weekend as that moisture lingers, and then obviously the significant moisture with the hurricane. The 8 to 14 day outlook from October 4th through the 10th shows warmer and drier conditions generally for the northern areas of the Great Basin and near normal conditions for the south, which means we will see some passing storms, bringing some light chances of precipitation to parts of mainly eastern Nevada going into Utah, but for the most part, drier conditions. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.